Happy birthday, Ikki!
To Ikki.
Happy birthday. Happy
It's
birthday
not
from my computer to yours.
birthday!
What?
Actually, not.
Oh, that's a
not-
wrap.
it's
Okay,
not
forget
yet.
it, people.
It
Let's
is-
go home.
Okay,
The
yeah,
Galaxy will need saving
let's
today.
stop. We're stopping. Boop.
No, we're not. We're still going.
It's
Welcome,
in
everybody.
2 hours and 57 minutes from now. And
Yep,
I
it
could
is
not be
close.
happier because, ladies and gentlemen, this is my time to shine with
Yep.
We Heart Katamari for the PS2.
Ikki
Yay.
gets to host a commentary himself. Isn't it a glorious day to be a Katamari?
Look at him. Look at this fancy free
Nom,
musical
nom.
sensation, and
I mean, why would you
think-
want to be the bumpy ball when you could be the one pushing the bumpy ball?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, granted, you could just say that you're the one pushing the bumpy ball, and all three of us here are the bumpy ball combined.
Okay, so
Oh gosh.
I'm the prince, and you are my cousins or second cousins or cousins twice removed. I don't know. Fucking.
Hi!
Anyways, this is one of my favorite games. Game franchises of that, and I had a ton of fun recording this with you guys.
And Lord knows we're not waiting for this to get the reworld treatment because we're doing it raw, baby.
Yeah, may as well. But
Well,
that being
raw,
said, I
quote,
would like if it.
unquote.
That being said, I
There we
would
go.
like if it got the reroll treatment. Welcome to We Love Katamari.
It's We Heart Katamari.
Yeah, but I looked on Wiki. They do actually spell. Oh, they do spell it as We Love Katamari. But, oh, the Great Cosmos.
Oh, this part's already narrated, you guys.
I know, but I was just like looking at it. It's so cool.
But yeah, this is basically summarizing the events of the first game, but in a much more grandiose manner, because this was actually the second and last Katamari game directed by the series creator Keita Takahashi. I believe that's
Wow.
his
So
name, if
he
I
so he
remember
did he abandoned it after. Well, not abandoned, but he.
Well, it's not that he
moved on.
abandoned it, it's just that, much like the Kingdom of Cosmos here, he never really intended to go past one game, but since the first game sold like hotcakes both in Japan and in the Americas, they kind of, gave him the note where it's like, hey, Mr. Takahashi, we love your new game here, and the people love your new game here, so why not make more?
And, well, he did. At least for one other time.
Which
Supposedly
more on that.
begrudgingly so, because... I don't know.
And I was gonna say about the whole how they coerced / convinced him to make the game. Keep that in mind when we see some dialogue later, because we think the guy kind of included it to be a little cheeky about how nice they were. Oh, what was some stuff we could roll with our Katamari?
Yeah. Erasers, postcards, ramen, robots, cows, sheep, this girl, that boy, moms and dads, bicycles,
What?
motorbikes, homes, buildings, rainbows.
Oh, listen to the guy
clouds,
narrating. He's getting
oceans,
really
and-
fast.
Just say yes.
Yes.
For a moment, I thought you were about to roll into the Pokemon rap.
Yes, you can roll up all
Catch 'em,
151
catch 'em, gotta roll 'em
Pokemon,
all.
ladies and gentlemen.
It's got.
Gotta roll 'em all. Katamari. Yeah, that doesn't sound quite right. Anyway.
Katamari.
So yeah, so we were able to replace the small. So what I guess what is important to get from that is yes, we were able to replace some of the Cosmos. Oh,
Well, everything that mattered, which
Damacy.
is all the stars in the sky. Of our
at least
galaxy,
around the
at
planet.
least. But yeah. The game is good, yo.
I mean, I guess it's kind of a blessing in disguise that this game...
Wait, where's the Where's the
Hey!
dialogue going?
Get back here!
I actually
that?
never
We're trying to
realized
tell
that
a
took
story
test.
here!
I want to meet the king. Or think he should be bigger.
I love the voiceover.
I wonder if this was.
I like pets!
Vegeta.
So yeah,
Why
because
are we a multi-headed?
us lowly peasants asked so hard and so often, we got a sequel.
We love Katamari.
Which
Wow!
say what you will, between what the guy thought of the first game. I think this was a substantial improvement, like a substantial step up from the first one.
Absolutely.
It's even
But,
bigger than what
yeah.
that any other Katamari Damacy could imagine.
First
So
game,
much so it had to reference the Space Odyssey.
we can
Huh.
do more.
Still not enough stars, so let's get down to business.
Let's go
Hey,
down
Dad.
to Earth again.
Sweet memories. Yes, there was that time.
Remember that time we didn't look at?
Remember the
time
time
where
I
we-
broke all the stars
we
in the
did a
sky,
goof.
and I made you clean up my mess?
It's like something out of a dream. But it wasn't. It actually sold like hotcakes, and I was able to finally finish off paying my second mortgage. What made us remember that all of a sudden?
It's called a paycheck.
Pretty much. And again, so we'll talk about it later. When we start talking to some of the people who are going to talk to the king and ask to help him out, we think that perhaps the director was being a little cheeky about how Namco was very much adamant about, please, you're so great, you have to be able, you're the one who can make the sequel. Where, so to the point where he almost, I guess maybe in some way you could look at it as that, like, in some cases the director maybe used the King of All Cosmos as his own self-insert with how everybody was basically trying to kiss his feet to get him to do the stuff.
Would you say like
my
even
leathery feet.
Would you say even in the first game he kind of used the king as his own avatar?
Not really.
In the first game, I don't know, it was more of a silly thing. Here, though, definitely there's definitely a parallel at the very least. I can definitely say I don't feel as much. Resentment's too strong a word. I don't hate the king in this one. He's just trying to like do his job. Anyway, so sorry, Ikki.
The people of planet Earth and whatever
Yeah.
else may lay there.
We
Because
have
it's
to
not
help
just
him.
people that we appease.
I don't know what they love about us.
I wish
Our
I knew
looks,
people
our
liked it about
types, our mustache.
Yeah, it's definitely the mustache.
us. Our
I'm
fir-
sorry, you say
our
tights, I'm just
firm
thinking...
thighs,
The chin.
the heaving supple breasts.
I was about
What? They don't got those.
I don't get it, but just going back, you were saying tights, I'm just thinking back to that one bit from that one Fox in Space clip with Wolf. It's like, isn't that big bulge in the pants?
Ooh.
God, forgot he did that.
I also will say I do like the. I guess we should may as well just start off here. Is that I love the music in We Heart Katamari.
Oh yeah, if you thought the soundtrack for the first game was really good, you have not heard We Heart Katamari, which basically improves upon everything and gives us even better music, in my opinion.
So, I guess there's one other thing we could go ahead and bring up right now, is that you may be wondering, how did Ikki record this game for us?
Because I don't know how to use a hot dog. And
Yeah,
I am
so it
okay
started
with
off-
admitting that.
Yeah, it kind of started off with that, and so we ended up. This is again, I guess, an experiment in us working with.
Parsec?
Yeah, with Parsec. This is a more advanced. And I think James and I we tried it out with another project a while ago.
I want to say it was for SpongeBob, maybe?
Yeah, it was for that
Yes,
look
that's right. Yeah, the Flying Dutchman. Look, yeah, we did.
And,
yeah,
needless to say, it delighted us.
So yeah,
And
we
then there
tried-
was
yeah, this-
also my attempt at practicing Ape Escape 2.
Oh, Ape Escape 2, right. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's the thing. So this and a couple other PS2 games we're going to be looking at in the future is an experiment we're working with PS3 where...
In
or
PS2?
with Parsec that... I'm not meaning to brag. I put a lot of effort into trying to make my... Woo! Okay, yeah. Hey, Pops, they need help. They want... He forgot how to play Katamari.
Yeah, I forgot how to video game. Because I just
Let's
played
leave off
Reroll,
that
and I already
Prince.
forgot. We have
shall we
felt
go?
great shame.
Oh, it's Prince. How are you doing today?
You're a disappointment in every regard.
He's not he's a cool guy, and I'm sure the king. We'll learn more about the parallels of parenthood and all that.
Honestly,
I mean,
yeah,
have
like,
you ever-
you're gonna see that, I mean, the love that he gives to us is pretty much runs in the family.
It's fairly tame what he holds us to compared to someone else.
High expectations, and yeah, so we think it may be better not to dredge that.
Highness is cool!
Cool. As ice. Ice is nice.
No, it's important to, and that's pretty much it. It's kind of a running joke, but that's pretty much how every interaction is gonna be. He can't be asked to do it until he's like, you know what? I think I'll give it a second try.
In fact, it tasted so good. But no, in reality, he just thinks of it as unreasonable demands for most characters that we interact with. Some of them he's totally fine with,
He's
except for
kinda
that
lazy
one,
like
for
that.
some reason. 'Cause his
I'm
ball
the
is
king,
back.
I can do whatever I damn please.
So yes, this is the obligatory tutorial level of the game.
And it definitely looks a little more colorful than the first game's tutorial level.
This game's a lot more vibrant compared to the first game, I will admit.
Although, that being said, I do know there is one downside I will say about this tutorial sequence. You can't look up and see the king's pretty polygonal face.
I mean, you can, it's just I didn't really think of it.
Oh, you
At least
can't?
I don't remember thinking about it.
Well, I mean, we were kind of in the heat of the moment, so we just decided, screw it. Let's just get this over with and get to the fun stuff.
I just want to have fun with my bouncy ball.
So to really quick finish off what this is a big experiment where I put a lot of effort into trying to keep my computer up to date. I got to still upgrade some parts of it, but my computer can run emulation a little bit better than most. So we decided to actually test that out with Parsec to say, hey, if Ikki wanted to play this game but wasn't able to set up the Hauppauge with the PS2, which makes sense because the PS2 did not really support HDMI and stuff, and if his computer couldn't handle emulation, could he use Parsec to basically play it remotely on my computer while I hosted everything? The answer was yes. That's why we're here.
Thank you, Logan.
To be more specific, yes, but not without a few small hurdles you may notice throughout the course of this commentary.
I did my best to edit around most of them, but it was the same. It was the same thing that happened with Unleashed in a couple areas. But so Ikki, I guess, getting right around to it. How does this game control compared to the original?
It's about the same. Only I think they fine-tune it just enough for what we have here. Because I think it still can get better, what with Katamari Forever on the PS3, where you have the jump button.
Oh yeah.
But
I am still curious if we should look. I want to do something for that game.
If I could record from PS3, then by God, I'm recording Katamari Forever at some point.
Right. If not, we can always try the Parsec thing again.
Yeah.
But because I have heard people say Forever may have been one of the last like really good ones.
It is the last really good one, in my opinion.
How many like? I guess we should go down the list. How many Katamari games are there, and which ones would you rank from best to worst?
As far as I'm aware, there is Katamari Damacy, the one that started it all.
Oh wait, oh god, is that? Oh wait, Ikki, I just realized we just passed by one of your cousins.
Which one?
It's
We're much too small.
Football Head.
Oh, that's another thing is that Ikki is to no offense, but Ikki is to this game what Celia is with Zelda, in that I can never remember these guys' names, but Ikki is much more like adept at remembering names than I am.
Ikki know what do is basically how to define this playthrough.
Ikki know what do.
Yeah.
What do you
just the
think?
Cupids.
Oh shit, we captured a few Cupids, and
Nice.
just like that, we're actually getting pretty close.
I want to
Ace
ask.
is like, help me.
I want to ask the
Flying out of
Logan.
here.
I want to ask the Logan. You make that cheeky comparison between the two of them, and because you were with him the whole time you were recording this, so I want to ask, like, does he ever get about as bad as Silly does during Ocarina of Time?
No, he was very just. No, I mean from what I remember. Oh, gotcha, Ace.
Gotcha.
He was very knowledgeable and knew a lot about it, and I'm talking about him in the third person, even though he's
Well,
like,
no, I don't mean like in terms of knowing it. I guess in terms of, you know how Sealy kind of like reveled in every inch of the game to a point where it's like, you could just cut this out. No, we must revel in it. That's why.
The worst that it got was that Ikki did. Full disclosure, I do edit around it, but there was at least one time when Ikki restarted a level 4 times because he very much wanted to be the big man and show off the big points.
I want to show
Well, I
off
mean-
all the
Which he
cool
did.
Stuff.
I mean, that I don't blame him for, because, slight spoiler alert, with the Arkham games, because at the time of recording, I finished recording both Arkham Asylum and City, there were some missions that I did end up redoing quite a few times, not because they were hard necessarily, but because I was being kind of stubborn and wanted to do them as best as I could.
It happens.
I've been.
Hey.
By the way, I got the big ball here because the king is actually in awe of how big this ball is.
Oh, it also feels strange-ish. So, Ikki, with all of the... I feel like the cousins, I don't remember that from the first Katamari.
Well, because in Katamari Damacy, the cousins were actually regulated to the multiplayer mode, the two-player versus thing, wherein you and a second player choose which character you want to be, which is a small amount of cousins on like its own little mushroom planet.
Right.
And you're basically in a competition to see who can roll up the other one first. And to do that, you're basically rolling up a whole bunch of stuff to get at least double in size as your opponent,
The No Way
and then roll
Planet.
them up.
You know what, Ikki? I've never thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess I can see like a Katamari like duel game almost working a bit like tug of war in that sense, where you're fighting to have the bigger orb to capture the other one.
Well, that's what the multiplayer mode is.
I was about to say, look, you might want to be careful, Logan. You might give them the idea of making a Katamari battle royale game.
Ooh,
They already do it. They on real talk, they already do it, and it was on. Actually, holy crap! Yeah, now I think about it. Wow, if you think about it, except for the fact that you could join however many times you wanted. Anybody here ever remember? It was like an old. Don't push me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way,
Players.
if you hope you guys don't care for the prince, because we're never gonna play as him again. At least not for a long while.
We're going to
There
play
are
as
so many
them like
playable
one other
characters.
time, but new to We Heart Katamari, you could actually play as the cousins that you end up rolling up in each stage.
So now we're gonna get to
In
play
the
as
single player
Ace.
mode, I mean.
Yeah. I imagine he's going to show off as many of them as he can.
Yep.
Even the
Later on,
terrifying
please.
ones.
I think he plays as all but one cousin, from what I remember seeing.
I think there's one we actually skipped over
I think it
it.
was Daisy that I refused to play as.
We'll get around to that later. What was I going to say? We mentioned that. We mentioned the cousins. We mentioned. We were just about to mention something else.
You were talking about, like, you were saying something in regards to my cheeky idea of a Katamari battle royale.
Who
Yes,
the hell are you?
You are not.
Oh, you're not the prince, but you're his better cousin. I
isn't
like
he
you
better
more.
in every
I'm going
way?
to make you the new prince.
Aw. Yeah, Your Highness, you're so striking.
Oh god, now I just got the mental image of the King of All Cosmos pulling like a pull string on the back of it. Like, well, no, like Ace having like a little plush doll of the King of All Cosmos in his grip in like his little bed. And whenever it says like, "You're my favorite
Spit out the
prince."
I do
was
appreciate
that-
the load times of this game are a little faster, just because he doesn't go into complete tirade of what he's literally loading into the map.
Yeah, it only happens whenever a level's so big that it has to load the next iteration of the world when you grow a certain size. What was I gonna say? That's right. It was like a grand like web browser phenomenon. Do you guys remember freaking Agario,
Yes, I do.
agar.io?
Oh
That
yeah, I remember that. Ali did a video about that with Matt years ago.
There was also Slovario.
So I could see that as being like a Katamari battle royale of sorts if it had a limited number of people.
Add resources.
Oh yeah, we
Right.
got ahead a few times.
But I want to
Here
show
we
off
go.
this. Just, I only showed that one because I wanted to show what it means to reset. And it's like, oh,
The torment
Who
I
would
put
have-
the editors through in this game.
would have thought we're being ignored.
Yep.
So yeah, that's about it. Is you can that also what I just but also what I almost said so sorry. What Ikki showed off there is also very important. Is that each
By
level
pausing,
actually has
you
a
can actually pause, and
Mm-hmm.
well, when you pause on a level, you can actually see every single individual item that you roll up into Katamari.
Interesting.
Right. Not only that, but Ikki, explain to them how the each level has its own spawn points.
Oh right. For some reason, I'm not entirely sure why, but every time you start a stage, you're given like one of a select number of spawn points. And oh, by the way, here's another cousin, Macho.
Macho.
He was in the
Macho.
first game as well.
Man. But yeah,
Uh,
there's like a set of like randomized spawn points.
Yeah, and it's more of a personal matter, but I find some spawn points are more, what's the word?
Is that a spider lobster?
It's
Wouldn't surprise me.
But no, some spawn points are more optimal than others for when you just want to roll up everything as fast as possible, because there is incentive for rolling up everything as fast as you possibly can, and that is the shooting stars. If you manage to achieve the goal, like the standard target before a certain point in time in the level, you get a shooting star at the results screen. And that is also used for a thing, like a very important thing, very later on.
Filling out the cosmos some more.
It pretty much fulfills this game's end game requirement.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
get
hey,
out of here,
Prince.
Prince.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
thought
do
I
all
got
that.
away from that madman.
You could
You
not
stole
hide
my
from us.
child!
Wait,
Whatever.
are you
We'll just
done
get into
killing,
it.
Prince?
Yeah, he was chilling. He was just taking a break underneath the apple.
You suppose it's
suppose-
alright with Ace
I love
around.
his
Now
name.
that's
Oh,
a
got the
boy
break.
who knows what gets done. Alright, he also
So,
lets you know when
8
there's a minute
seconds
left.
left.
Oh, the cat.
Oh, gee, the cat. No, that's no good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or you'll miss everything that moves.
I want to say these levels are a little more memorable to me than some of the ones in Katamari Damacy. Like, I still love the idea. But actually, now I think about it, I think Katamari Damacy 1 did the same thing. I love the idea that each of these levels are all part of one overall world that just isn't all rendered at one time. Like, this is actually inside a house that's inside a giant city we'll be in later, and a whole island that we'll be on later, and
then a whole
523.
continent,
Birthday for
and
first
then
crash.
a whole planet.
I know I love how everything's interconnected like that. And come on, get the bug.
I mean, to be fair, there are a lot more unique set pieces in this game compared to the first one.
I mean, yeah, from what I've seen, it does feel like that because, yeah, this game's world is a lot more expansive than the first one's.
Yeah.
Like, you go literally go all over the world.
I mean, think
that's
of it
right,
this
yeah.
way: in Katamari Damacy, there were 3 worlds. There was the the house, the town, and then there's the world.
Right. And the town was in like a valley or something, wasn't it?
So
Yeah,
it was very contained.
I do recall here, though, is like, yeah, there's definitely more than just that. Like, I do recall, like, there's like wasn't there like what, a park, a school ground, and
We'll get to. Well, I think in the next part we'll show off some more locations.
Right.
All right, no worries.
And a very important thing is that they did a really fun job of showing off a whole variety of like different ways that they can play around Candy Uranus.
Oh, yeah. Every planet has a unique.
my
subtitle of
liege,
sorts.
it's pronounced Uranus. Did I stutter?
I'm sorry, you the
We
King of
believe-
I'm
Cosmos?
sorry.
wait a
you
minute,
was
it's
the
story
story
time,
flow you
guys.
Speak of.
We believe it's pronounced Uranus.
Oh man!
That's
Yeah, you
not
see
the
before-
king.
Yeah, and that was the King of all Cosmos once.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Practiced many trades.
I just like how he's poking that one key over and over again.
He's trying to get it out. He tried to figure out ballet, and the ballet didn't work. He tried to do athletic training. That didn't work. And he couldn't quite do boxing.
You
Ow.
weakling!
Look at that koi go.
Look at
Weak.
that monkey.
And
He
all
ain't
he
no grandson of mine.
And I love how this King of all Cosmos just lived in a very quaint town.
Oh yeah.
One day,
Full of quaint people that look nothing like him.
he wanted to have fun too.
I want
guess
to
it's
be
because-
a somebody.
He just wanted to feel a little bit more cultured being around these peasant humans.
Which really
He's
goes.
just
I mean, honestly, considering how he is now, not sure how well that worked out in the long run.
I do like the story and I guess I should also say I do like the little in between story cutscenes in this more than I did in the first one where it just followed that one family.
I mean, it feels like a natural step up from the original game.
Right, and I want to learn more about the king and all of his wacky adventures.
The king.
As a prince. But on that note, folks, yeah, again, it feels so surreal that we're finally letting Ikki host a commentary for a change, but that's
Damn
how it
Skippy.
goes.
And as the king said, we will see you in part 2. We Heart Katamari. Stay
Till next time, guys.
tuned. Possibly take a pee break.
Toodaloo.
Oh, Katamari.